Feds accumulated a list of 36 victims. Alexander Acosta was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida. He was told, Epstein is intelligence and you need to back away from him. There's two people constitutionally that can tell a U.S. attorney to back down in the United States of America: the president and the attorney general. That's the kind of power that Epstein was tapped into. One of the circled names is Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel. You know, Mick Jagger's name was in there, the Kennedys, there was a Rothschild. It's very obvious that Epstein was providing girls at Clinton. When Clinton was president, Epstein was going into the White House with girls.
What's with the painting?
It's Jeffrey Epstein's perverted sense of humor towards Bill Clinton, I guess. These are people at the apex of power. And Epstein and Maxwell have told you if you talk, you're gonna die. You're terrified. When that state grand jury didn't indict Epstein on any counts of child abuse, Michael Ryder of the Palm Beach Police Department was just livid. And he went to the feds and he said, you guys have got to do something about this. And at a certain point, the feds accumulated a list of 36 victims. I've got the list. The feds had a list of 36 victims. Alexander Acosta was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Miami. And he was told that not to go after Epstein, that Epstein was intelligence and it was above his pay grade. Now, he said that when he became Secretary of Labor under Trump, and when the Trump team was vetting him, they asked him, why didn't you go after Epstein? And he said, well, I was told that Epstein was intelligence and it was above my pay grade not to go after him. And it has come out that he said that, and he's never denied saying that. So he was told, Epstein is intelligence and you need to back away from him. And that's exactly, and so when we're talking about power, this is a U.S. attorney. There's two people constitutionally that can tell a U.S. attorney to back down in the United States of America: the president and the attorney general. So that's the kind of power that Epstein was tapped into, that a U.S. attorney could be told to stand down.
Wow. So what was his name? Lesnar?
Les Wexner.
Les Wexner. Was he the gateway to all the other powerful people that Epstein had intertwined into this web of elites?
I think that he was one of the gateways. I think that Epstein probably had multiple gateways, like Leon Black, head of the Apollo Group. Epstein got $156 million from him. And how did that happen? Well, Leon Black just happens to be in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. Glenn Dubin, another billionaire. He's actually circled. So what happened was the house manager ripped off Epstein's black book. This is how I ended up getting it. The house manager ripped it off, and he tried to sell it to one of the attorneys that was launching civil suits at Epstein. And then the attorney called the FBI, and the FBI did a sting. But he circled a bunch of names that he saw had been involved with Epstein.
Epstein circled them, or the house manager?
The house manager did.
Okay.
So Les Wexner's name is definitely circled. Bill Richardson's name is circled. Bruce King's name is circled. Glenn Dubin's name is circled. George Mitchell, the former majority leader of the Senate, his name is circled. Marvin Minsky, a famous scientist at MIT, his name is circled. And a number of these people come up in depositions, a victim's deposition, when she names names.
So these names are popping up all over the place,
yeah.
And it's all syncing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and one of the circled names is Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel. So.
Any president's names in there?
Well, actually, Epstein has, I believe, 24 contact numbers for Clinton. And it's very obvious that Epstein was providing girls at Clinton. I mean, when Clinton was president, Epstein was going into the White House with girls. with women. I don't think that they were minors, but Epstein was definitely delivering women to Clinton when Clinton was in the White House.
What's with the painting? Do you know the painting I'm talking about?
With Clinton in the blue dress. It's...
What is that?
It's Jeffrey Epstein's perverted sense of humor towards Bill Clinton, I guess. I'm sure that Clinton probably never saw it.
What other kind of paintings were there? Was anybody else we know?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing like Bill Clinton in a blue dress, which kind of is a frightening thought.
Is that the... Yeah, we'll put it up on screen. It's a great painting.
Yeah, well, it's a very good painting, yeah.
But I don't know why you'd want that painted. But keep going with the Black Book. I have so many questions that have...
Well, with the Black Book... So I got the Black Book, and I had direct contact information to Bill Clinton, or Mick Jagger's name was in there. The Kennedys. There was a Rothschild. I mean, Soros's nephew, who's kind of taking over the Soros empire. He's circled in the Black Book. So,
how many names are in the Black Book?
I would say a couple hundred, 200, 300. I mean, I'm talking like people that Epstein did business with, but then there's also the names of probably about 150 victims too.
So if you had to describe the Black Book, how would you describe it? I mean, was it handwritten? Was it typed?
No, it was typed out. It was Epstein's basically all the connections that Epstein had made.
It was just a Rolodex of people.
Yeah, and like a thing that kind of indicates guilt, and I'm not saying that categorical guilt, but it indicates guilt, is the more numbers that Epstein had for you. Even if you weren't so, like George Mitchell was named by a victim as a perpetrator.
Who's George Mitchell?
He was the he was the Democratic head of the Senate. And when the Democrats, this is in the 1990s, when the Democrats had the majority, he was the majority leader of the Democrats. So he constitutionally was the president pro tempore, which makes so if the president goes and the vice president goes and the Speaker of the House goes, then the majority leader of the Senate takes over. So constitutionally, he was the fourth most powerful man in the country. And Epstein has like 7 numbers for him. And then that girl came forward and said that she'd been molested. And, here's the thing about this, though. Some of these guys, I mean, some of them are creepy. Like Alan Dershowitz is creepy. Les Wexner is creepy. But George Mitchell, he looks like a benign grandfather. I believe that victim, and then Epstein was obviously doing business with him. He had like 7 numbers for George Mitchell. But he doesn't look creepy. It's weird. Some of these guys are very creepy and they don't look creepy. A lot of them look creepy, but some of them just don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there any notes or annotations or anything beside the names, or was it literally just like a phone book, a name, and then whatever numbers they had for them?
Yeah, numbers.
Okay.
And then Alfredo Rodriguez circled the ones that he had witnessed in Florida taking part.
Was it all men?
Courtney Love's name is circled. And I think Naomi Campbell's name might be circled too.
Were there any boys that were victims? Or was it all women or young girls?
So I have heard of boys, but I've yet to find them at this point. But I've heard of them.
Are the victims... Let's talk about what it was like when you spoke with some of the victims. Were they eager to get information out? Were they scared? Were they standoffish?
They're scared. I mean, in this scenario, you've got Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell saying, if you talk, you're going to die. Mm-hmm. And then you see all these extremely powerful guys. You see the Prime Minister of Israel, or you see Bill Clinton. I mean, these are people at the apex of power. And Epstein and Maxwell have told you, if you talk, you're going to die. And then you see these powerful guys, you're terrified.